One of the things that should worry everybody about Donald is that he has never evolved beyond the kind of person he was when he was very young. And it's not at all surprising because he grew up in an authoritarian household. And because of the way my grandfather, who was a quite straight up sociopath, was that Donald became the favorite son. And he knew what he needed to do in order to stay on my grandfather's good side, because he also understood what would happen to him if he didn't.
And that is Mary Trump, a clinical psychologist, talking about her uncle, Donald Trump. The former president's niece on CNN explained Trump's affinity for dictators and fear of humiliation and violence if he crosses them. Mary Trump said it was what her uncle, Donald Trump, grew up with.
He is very comfortable in this milieu, and it is extremely important to him that he get the benefits of associating with strongmen like Orban and Putin, but also that he be on their good side.
Donald Trump wants to be on the good side of Russia's Putin and Turkey's Orban because of Trump's childhood trying to please his own harsh authoritarian father, Fred Trump. And as you heard, Mary Trump says Fred was a straight-up sociopath. Psychologists and mental health professionals are having a field day with all of this. They say it helps explain some of Donald Trump's cognitive and subconscious impulses that often go against the best interests of the United States. Because, of course, regardless of what drives Donald Trump to kiss up to the world's most brutal authoritarians, that Trump approach has serious consequences for global security. Because when a leader of the United States gives encouragement or approval to an authoritarian dictator, political scientists point out that foreign dictator may feel emboldened to act even more harshly and ruthlessly. Former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, whose own nation sits far closer to China and Russia than the United States does, recently described Donald Trump's frightening approach.
When you see Trump with Putin, as I have on a few occasions, he's like the 12-year-old boy that goes to high school and meets the captain of the football team. Oh, my hero. It is really creepy. It's really creepy. Now,
and that struck you at the time?
Oh, absolutely. It struck everybody. It was like you could touch it. It was creepy. The creepiness was palpable.
Are you trying to say they're having a bromance?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just telling you what I saw. Regrettably, the Republican Party under Donald Trump, and particularly the right wing of the Republican Party, are very sympathetic to Vladimir Putin.
And the right wing of the GOP is sympathetic to Putin in large part because of Donald Trump. Trump has repeatedly embraced Putin and promoted an America First isolationist policy. That means keeping U.S. troops at home and not defending Putin's enemies. The isolationism fits intellectually with far-right conservatives, and Trump's friendship with Putin, bromance, or crush, whatever you call it, has been a key foreign policy talking point across MAGA world. MAGA folks often parrot and repeat whatever Donald Trump says. And the Trump praise through the years for authoritarians and dictators has been hard to miss.
You know, I was very honored as a man, Viktor Orban. Did anyone ever hear of him? He's probably like one of the strongest leaders anywhere in the world. And he's the leader of, right? He's the leader of Turkey. President Xi is like central casting. There's nobody in Hollywood that can play the role of President Xi. The look, the strength, the voice. It's good to have a good relationship with Putin and Xi and all these people that have lots of nuclear weapons. And Kim Jong-un I had a good relationship with. He's a tough, smart guy. He's strong like granite. He's strong. I know him very well. President Xi of China. And he's standing there. You know, he's a fierce person. He runs 1.4 billion people with an iron hand. And they say, oh, he said good things about him. No, he happens to be a very smart person. If I say a certain leader is smart, that's controlling a big part of the world, the press gets upset that I say smart because that's a good thing. No, very smart people. These are very smart people.
China's Xi, North Korea's Kim Jong-un, Turkey's Orban, Russia's Putin are very smart people, says Donald Trump. And in that description of the world's most dangerous dictators, Trump seems incapable of pointing out any faults, like how they assassinate opponents, carry out mass executions, stifle dissent, embrace corruption, make life worse for their own people, and threaten global security. The fact is that most dictators, to gain and keep power, have to have a certain level of smarts and panache, but that doesn't mean they are good people or leaders that a U.S. president should enable and hold up as a role model. But Donald Trump's role model was his own authoritarian sociopath father, says Mary Trump. And so, the scars of Donald Trump's emotionally and psychologically unhealthy childhood remain, only now it's American security that is being threatened. Add it to the Trump list. By the way, Donald Trump is exploding in the wake of a string of gaffes and the trending hashtag Dementia Done.
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Ugh, indeed. Donald Trump butchered this speech with gaffes and mistakes.
We will expel the warmongers, all coming out of crooked Joe Biden, because, look, he can't campaign, he can't speak.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.